Alright guys, Kremp again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. The new OpTic Texas team back in scrims as of the last couple of days, and the streams are back in action as well. OpTic versus Ravens, OpTic versus Miami going down in serious force last night. And sure, maybe not the strongest competition in the league right now on paper, but nonetheless OpTic's results definitely turned some heads. Scump reckons they look pretty fantastic in a couple of these situations, but still there is a lot of work to be done. Very much enjoy your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Starting here, unfortunately, with the new maps, the 6v6 maps coming into the game in Black Ops 6 alongside Firing Range, of course, which is arriving as well. Now, it really does frustrate me looking at these because, like, we did it on the show last night a little bit, but we went back and had a look at some of the OG maps. If you look at a game like Black Ops 3, the maps in that game that were considered bad maps, at least for competitive, maps like Exodus, it was the one with the turtle on it, that would be, in today's COD, a great map, like a phenomenal map, a competitive map. It would be one of the better maps we had in the league. I don't know what's happened to Treyarch's map design team to get us to this point, but this is Barrage. It looks like, was it called like Noma or something, or, you know, the first thing I thought of was Point Du Hoc from World War II, which is kind of a similar looking thing, but, like, what's going on here, right? Like, I guess, do we even have lanes? Is that a lane? Is that a lane? Maybe. It's a complete mess, to be honest. And then we've got this one, like, you know, what is this? Nomad. I guess it's a strike map, right? So, okay, let's ignore that, I suppose. We've got another one as well. Okay, this is the other core map called Haven. So, I mean, look, maybe this one's okay. It's a square. I like seeing a square because square typically means 3 lanes. So, you know, 1, 2, 3 kind of. I'm not so sure. I guess we'll see. This doesn't look completely horrific, but it just, the frustration for me is that Sledgehammer, they literally said that they looked at classic Treyarch maps when they were designing Rio, Vista, Six Star, some of the best DLC maps that we've ever had that have arrived into the game that did last season and frankly made the year, in my opinion, having those great new maps in the game. You know, Six Star was phenomenal. Love watching that. You know, Rio, they said, was kind of inspired by, I think they mentioned this anyway, a few of the old school BO2 maps. There was certainly some kind of echoes of some of those maps in there somewhere. And Vista as well, a similar story. You know, Sledgehammer looked at some of the classic OG, great competitive COD maps and built new ones on that foundation. And it can still be done, right? It's not like it's impossible to still make great maps. But, like, for some reason, Treyarch are just washed. I don't really get it anymore. Thankfully, this upcoming year's COD is probably just going to be all the BO2 maps remastered. So, you know, I guess we'll have a good time with that. Haven doesn't look, I guess, absolutely terrible. And then there's another strike map here at the end called Signal. So, yeah, I don't know about this one. So, anyway, there you go, I guess. Congratulations, everyone. This I thought was interesting from Hastro. It's kind of like a very Hastro thing to tweet, actually. There's been lots of talk about whether Envy will come back into COD. Envy are officially back now. Hastro's got the organization back. He's looking for his next steps in esports in general, and I'm pretty confident that Envy will be back in COD at some point. But when is a question. Does it make sense for them to come back in next year? You know, does challenges make any sense? Probably not. They've got other esports they can be focusing on instead. But look, Stro says the thing that should be talked about is how consistently good FaZe have been for years. And to be fair, it is very impressive, actually, because, you know, not many teams have been able to accomplish what they've done. If FaZe's finals record was just a bit better, I think we'd even be having a very different conversation about them than we have done, but it's starting to get there, and Drazah's certainly been a part of that. This was notable too. Drazah's competed at 23 LANs. He's won 7 of them in that time frame. And in the time frame where he started competing at LANs, he actually leads all players in terms of wins with Simp, aBeZy and Cellium. Of course, who he's now teaming with, but he wasn't always. You know, he won championships in his own right alongside those on the Los Angeles Thieves. But yeah, just pretty notable, right? Like, Drazah's a grinder. He's a winner at the end of the day. He may not be everyone's cup of tea, for sure. But look, I think FaZe did a great job getting Drazah, but there's still been talk, even with FaZe as good as they currently are. If OpTic collapse, you know, if Shotzzy's available, would they go and get him? I don't know. It's something at least to think about out there. So intrigued to your thoughts in the comments. But let's talk about the OpTic Scrims that have started here to go down. We talked about this the other day, that Skies, when he was on that podcast with Scump, was like, yo, if the team chemistry, or if, let's say, the vibes aren't looking so good, you know, I'll take my shirt off, the teammates can slap my belly and all this. And that's exactly what he did here. So who knows how to keep the vibes And there was this from Hook as well. I think Sky said, "Yeah, you gotta slap it, right? Like, well, just have it." I don't know. We're not going to talk about that anymore. But yeah. So maybe OpTic are winning champs. Maybe OpTic aren't going to lose a map ever again because I don't know. The vibes of chemistry look so much better, and the streams were on last night. They were streaming their practice, and look, it's not to say that it was Pred's fault or Kenny's fault or whatever, right? Who's to blame? Who was the problem, right? Like, I think there were probably a number of problems and a number of issues, and not to say they've all necessarily been resolved, but I think it's quite clear that something drastic had to change, and for all the talk that, oh no, there's nothing wrong internally at this camp, the vibes are still high, it's like, yeah, we don't believe you when you've got an 0-21 map count, excluding the Falcon series. It was inevitable that a major change had to be made. I told you guys yesterday that OpTic were looking to make a two-man change before the major. They eventually only did a one-man move, but it was pretty inevitable, I thought, that it was going to have to be a two-man move after the fact. So, they played Ravens in scrims yesterday. And this, of course, a Ravens team that has been going through their own bit of turmoil, right? We discussed it earlier today. We're pretty sure they wanted Kenny. They're now stuck with Vivid. Apparently, they tried changing roles, Gwinn for Vivid, and got slammed bad. So they decided to, I think that was in the series against OpTic where Hook had full streaks. So they decided to go back. They scrimmed OpTic again, and it was better for Ravens, but it was better for OpTic. Now, a few notable maps. The Vault was 250 to 108. I mean, Skies is here 34 in 20. Obviously, we can't see like the numbers of everyone, unfortunately, so I'm not going to make everything full screen and perfect here. But, just to look at the results, really. I think a couple of notable results. They lost the Skyline at, obviously, 250 to 177 here. And this was the Protocol. I think this is maybe the more notable map just to keep an eye on, because it's not a map that OpTic really like. They're not great at Protocol. They don't really like to play it in Hardpoint or in like Control or anything, right? And even in Surge, they don't like to play it too often either. It's not one of their favourite maps, and it does seem like with Hook and Skies on the team, it's still causing them some problems, I would say, right? So it's not like they've turned up to scrims with Skies and Hook and they're fried, like they're out of control, they're just so much better than they used to be. But they've definitely played much better stuff. I mean, Scump was watching it and he was pretty happy with what he was seeing. I think that the chemistry and the teamwork certainly seems better. Look, there is work to do. Of course, there's work to do. Shotzzy and Hook, I think you kind of know what you get from that pair. Like, they're going to be impressive online. Translating that to LAN is going to be a question mark. Is Sky is a key piece to help that happen? Sure, Dashy's still been pretty excellent, I would say, all season long. It's Shotzzy who really needs to turn it around again. And probably Hook is the guy to help make that happen, to be fair. But it's not like they've immediately clicked and are godlike, but they're certainly better, I'd say, than they were. They played the red cards. They won that 250-234, and then, notably, they went on to win all three controls. Now, it's not a game mode that Ravens are great at, but winning the controls 3-0, 3-1, 3-1, especially because it's been a very weak mode for OpTic as of late, is notable for sure, because that's what makes the difference in this scrim set, really, it being, 3-2, 4-5, whatever, for it to end up being 6-2 in the favour of OpTic, because they won all the controls. And we saw a pretty similar story when they played Miami later on in the days. They played Miami, and again, they won the Vault 250 to 138. So, like, that Vault looks real good for them and real juicy right now, winning both of the maps on that game mode, or both of the, whatever, you know what I'm trying to say anyway. I think I did say it right. Red card, they won as well. The Skyline, they won too, which is a nice result. But again, they lost the Protocol. Like, I don't want to hone in on the losses, but maybe it's not like the Protocol is magically fixed. I mean, they lost it both 250, 150 to both teams that they played. This, of course, is the new Heretics with Super in. So both of these teams are learning new game effectively, right? Because they made a change for Lucky. OpTic have made a change as well. So, pretty new scrim for both teams. Understandably, they're getting up to speed. But maybe OpTic will say, okay, Protocol, it still ain't our map. Everything else, though, happy to play. And the Vault seems like the map maybe that teams should be vetoing against them. But again, they've played Miami, they've played Ravens. Not on paper, at least in respawn modes, the strongest competition. The HyDra was super close. They lost this one 250-244. And then they played 3 controls again. And they won the majority of them, especially winning the Protocol, right? I mean, they played Ravens on the Protocol. They won that one 3-0. They played, Protocol hardpoint, not really their bread and butter, but Protocol control, they won 3-0 again. They played 6 rounds of Protocol Control on the day. They won every single round. So, okay, sure, maybe Protocol Hardpoint isn't working perfectly, but the Protocol Control seems a lot better. That's the map where they would veto it guaranteed. Like, they hated playing Protocol Control. They would always get that out of there. They'd always rather play Volt or Hassi. But, yeah, this time they lost the Volts. They won the Protocol. They won the Hassi. So, yeah, 5-3 map count. So on the day, 11-5 map count between Ravens and Miami. Pretty good result, all things considered. And this is what Scump has to say.
Again, it is just scrims, but that is a... I mean, dude, when's the last time we seen a hard point look like that, bro? I mean, seriously. And Carolina's not bad. Map 1 to the gentleman. What more do you need? They're up 150, 5 points from closing. Oh my gosh, hold the phone. They're fucking back. They're fucking back. This should be around for the gentleman. Dude, these guys look fantastic, chat. Man, these guys look amazing, man. I'm so happy with how this is going. I didn't really know what to expect today coming into this. This is exceeding my expectations by a lot. They look good.
Of course, people also want to know who they're going to scrim next. What is going to be the plan for them going forward? Are they going to get some, some better teams, right, in terms of competition that they're going to be playing up against? Seems like that is exactly what is going to be happening. Today, they are rumored to be scrimming Thieves and Gentlemates. Now, apparently Gentlemates chalked it off because, I don't know, maybe they don't have a team right now. But we think they'll be playing Thieves. It's also nice to see OpTic streaming the practice again. Shotzzy made it clear that Pred, when he came back, didn't really want them streamed because he thought they were going to be like godlike, apparently. That obviously turned out not to be the case, and therefore they didn't want to stream them for the exact opposite reason. But, OpTic don't feel like there's anything the other teams will gain for, having them stream their practice, and it's just generally good content. So it's great to see that that's back in force, to be fair, as well, especially with the new OpTic team looking the way that they look. The Thieves scrim, though, is going to be kind of telling because this Thieves team, I mean, they put together one of the greatest stages individually we've ever seen in the online since, and then, of course, didn't win the major, which tends to always happen when a team goes undefeated in the qualifiers. I think for Thieves, they are in an interesting spot as a team. FaZe have won both events so far this season. Thieves need to start winning stuff and start winning stuff quick and matching up against FaZe in finals and stuff like that if they want to start, looking like they're going to win the World Championship. Clearly, translating their success and, maybe some degree of complacency, overconfidence coming into the LAN event held them back. I think the Thieves are a team with the structure they have, the support they have around them, who will be able to execute on that and use that to fuel the fire to become really scary. So I'm expecting, one of two things happens. This is how it is with super teams. Either they crash and burn or they eventually put it together. My gut feeling is that Thieves are going to be the team that puts it together. But you guys may disagree. I think this stage, though, last stage was good. I think this stage they could come with some serious heat. Obviously, the LAN is what's really important. But definitely LA Thieves, a force to be reckoned with, and they will play OpTic, we think, tonight. And that's going to be kind of telling. The way that OpTic do here is going to be notable for how it happens because, Scrappy said it earlier in the year, I think when they had Hook in, that they were kind of cooking them in scrims, but with Pred it was even worse. So, whether that will translate into what we are expecting to see today, of course, we're going to talk about everything in due course as well. So very much interested in your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.